Hello and welcome to Wave Support. I see from your clinical request you've switched your patient from a renovation multifocal lens into the Wave multifocals, and it sounds like you've achieved good comfort with your new designs, but you're struggling a little bit with the vision. Well, let's take a look here. First of all, I think your designs look great. It sounds like you've achieved the comfort, which of course is one of the most important things with these lenses. But a couple thoughts, since you went with basically a spherical design using the R-SIM, and you're ending up with a toric or cylinder over refraction, I kind of wonder if some of the difficulty this patient had with their old renovation spheres was also uncorrected cylinder over refraction. With that said, thankfully we have a way to put that into Wave here. And so if we look at this right lens, if you go over to the over refraction box, you'll notice that it has sort of the estimated sphere cylinder over refraction. If you look at these numbers from the data you sent me, they look like they're almost identical to what you measured, so that tells us that this lens is making sense from a mathematical standpoint. And so therefore I think it should be pretty straightforward. You just add your sphere and cylinder over refractions into here. It's going to probably add some prism into it, and if you remember from your training, if we look at that topography of the cornea, it seems to be a pretty symmetrical cornea. There's not a lot of corneal toricity. So sometimes if you add that cylinder on the front surface of the lens, you might need a little bit of help keeping the thing stable, so adding prism can be helpful in this case. Doing that with both eyes, in the left eye is a similar manner. If we look over here in the left eye, you do your over refraction. These numbers on the estimated over refraction, the top shaded gray boxes, very closely match what your cylinder over refraction was on this patient. So I think you'd be pretty confident adding that data into these lower three boxes should help clear up the distance vision. Just another thought along those lines though, I do notice that your bifocal size is pretty good size. You have a pretty small anterior optical zone here. It's basically the same size as the pupil. It is possible that a little bit of the blur that you're getting is related to pupil size. I mean, I like going as big as you can get away on these anterior optical zones. But one way you can kind of try and see if it's more of a cylinder over refraction issue, or if it's really the size of this distance zone being a little bit on this, being about the same size of the pupil. You can have your patient view the eye chart with both eyes, occlude the left eye, but while that left eye is occluded, shine a pen light underneath that left occluder to constrict both pupils. So when you're constricting that left eye with the pen light, obviously the right eye is going to constrict also and pull that pupil more into that central part of that distance zone. And the question will be for the patient, does that do anything for the clarity? And if you have notable improvement in the clarity, then part of your difficulty is also this pupil size, not just the cylinder over refraction. With that said, I would probably start, since you obviously measure that cylinder over refraction, it is consistent with what Wave predicts based on the design. I would add it in here to the cylinder over refraction. If you are uncomfortable there, or if you want to see a refresher on how to add those cylinder over refractions in, there's a nice training video on the Wave training site that kind of reviews how to do that, and I'll include a link with the email to this one here. With that said, I think you'll do well with this case. Sometimes when you add cylinder over refractions, it can get a little bit testy, but the prism should help keep it stable. And then don't forget to sort of check the size of that pupil by, again, constricting the pupils with a pen light in the opposite eye, and that sometimes will give you a little more data as if it's more of a pupil size or anterior optical zone size versus truly an over refraction. Well, good luck with this case. Thank you for contacting Wave Support, and have a great day.